So we're in chapter 10, the importance and growth of multinational companies. We have said in the last 40 years or so, some businesses have developed large operations in many different countries. They serve global markets and provide jobs and other benefits for the countries in which they locate. They are called multinational. So multinational companies are companies that have different operations cut across the countries. And they have employment, they employ people globally. That's why they are multinationals. So we have a case study of LG Electronics here. Are you there? Yes. One of the largest business corporations in South Korea is LG Electronics. In 2016, it had 125 global operations and employs 77,000 people. LG's product range is grouped into 4 divisions. We have home entertainment for TVs, sound system, gaming monitors, mobile communications for smartphones, tablets, wearable technology. We have vehicle components, including infotainment system, electronic safety systems, and other electronic components. And their home appliances and air solutions, including washing machines, microwaves, cookers, vacuum cleaner, air conditioning units, and water purifiers. So these are the sales revenue between 2012 to 2016 on the bar chart. So LG enjoys huge global revenue. That figure shows that. So we have these questions for LG. So what evidence is there to suggest that LG is a multinational company? So what is a multinational company? We say multinationals are large business organizations with production operations in more than 2 countries. So LG has more production operations in more than 2 countries. So that makes it a multinational. And based on the statistics, they said in 2006, it had 125 global operations. It has 125 global operations in 2016. It said there. It has 125 global operations. So that means it has 125 operations, 125 countries that it has operations in it. So that makes it a multinational. And it employs 77,000 people worldwide. So that is what makes LG a multinational. Is it clear? Yes. The second question. Why are multinationals important for the global economy? I wrote, they are important for global economy due to their global output and global employment. The output means what they produce. They produce globally and they employ globally. So that's why they are important to the global economy. Is it clear? Yes. The third question. Suggest one possible reason why a company might become a multinational. So I wrote, one of the main reasons for becoming multinational is that MSC can have lower cost of production because when you are a multinational company, your operation is large scale. Because it is a large scale, that means you can exploit economies of scale. What does economies of scale mean? It means expansion that reduces your cost of your average cost. Because you are expanding, your average cost of production reduces. That is economies of scale. So because you are a multinational company, this is what you will enjoy. So there's exploitation of economies of scale. So that's one of the reasons why companies might want to become multinational. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. So we go to the importance and growth of multinationals now. So let's just go down to how have multinationals develop over time. Are you there? Yes. So we go to how multinationals have developed over time. The first one here is economies of scale. For economies of scale, like I told you what economies of scale is, it means a cost reduction based on expansion because your business has expanded. So what you enjoy is a reduction in your average cost of production, which is economies of scale. So here I wrote, they enjoy lower average cost as they sell to global markets. So their operation is large. Also, they have access to cheap global resources, such as labor, capital, and commodities. Because they are multinationals, and over time, their scale of operation continues to become bigger. As a result of that, they have access to cheap raw materials, they have access to cheap labor, and they have access to cheap supplies. Multinationals want to set up in a country that wherever they get raw materials is cheap. They want to set up there. So that means they have access to cheaper raw materials. As a result of that, their average cost of production will fall. So that is about economies of scale. Like here in Libya. Yeah, like oil companies in Libya, they will have access to the oil at a cheaper rate. Yes. So that is economies of scale. I think it's clear. Then the second point, marketing. For marketing, I wrote, they have the ability to invest heavily on adverts and protect their brand with patents. So for multinational companies, because they are huge businesses. They have money. They have that financial capability. So they can spend, they can invest heavily on advertisement. Aside that, they can also, they can also make their brand stronger by putting on patents on it. I think it's clear. Then the third one, technical and financial superiority. They have the financial capability to employ the best staff and purchase the latest technology. So the third point here is that for multinationals, because they have financial capability, so they can employ the best skilled workers in the world, and they can purchase the latest technology. It's not going to be difficult for them to buy. As a result of that, they continue to have efficiency because of their financial strength. Is it clear? Yes. So the next one, larger customer base. Are you there? Yes. So for larger customer base, they have access to much wider market than business that focuses on domestic markets. This increases profit and market share. So the next point here is that multinationals, because they sell into a wider market. So they are not just selling locally, they sell globally. As a result of that, their market share will continue to increase. And that allows them to make more profits. Do you get it? They are not like businesses that sell just locally. They sell internationally, they sell globally. As a result of that, they have large customer base, which means they have large market share and they will make more profits. Is it clear? Then the next one, lower cost. For lower cost, it's just like, since multinationals are large companies, they can expect economies of scale. It's still the same as economies of scale for lower cost. Do you understand? So what it means is that wherever they are setting up at, they will be setting up there because it is cheap to set up there. It's their choice to set up. So they only want to set up where it is cheaper for them to set up. And that means they will enjoy lower cost. Then the next one, higher profile. So for higher profile, we're talking about their reputation. So a business that is able to develop as a multinational will enjoy a better reputation, and which will encourage existing customers and attract new customers. Because you're a multinational company, you have huge reputation, and your reputation will attract even potential customers. So your existing customers want to stay with you. Yes, your existing customers want to continue to associate with you because you are a big company. And with that, existing customers would also want to be part of your organization because of your reputation. Is it clear? The next one, avoiding trade barriers. For trade barriers, here, as MNCs, trade barriers can be avoided as they can set up their operations in other countries. There's trade barrier, which means trade restriction, like tariffs, like quota system, like ban. You cannot buy from other countries. But if you're a multinational company, so you cannot supply to other countries. But because you're a multinational company, you don't need to buy or sell. You are going to set up in that country. So laws that restrict importation or exportation into that country will not affect you. Do you understand? So Libya might not allow importation, but foreign companies might set up here. So if they are setting up here, importation ban does not affect them. So they can avoid importation. They can avoid trade restriction. Is it clear? And the last one, lower taxes. They can reduce the amount of tax they pay on their profit by basing their head office in countries where taxes are lower. One thing is this, for multinationals, wherever their head office is, wherever their head office are, that is where they pay the taxes from. So they can they can make their head office to be in a country that has low taxes, like Ireland. So their headquarters is there. So that is where they pay their taxes from. So that means they're going to pay low taxes. Is it clear? So these are how multinationals have grown over time. Clear? Okay, so we'll go to the activity now. Nike Corporation is a well-known multinational and has a strong brand. It is involved in the design, development, manufacturing, and global marketing of footwear, clothing, equipment, accessories, and services. It is one of the world's largest producers of sports clothing and equipment. In 2016, the company employs 70,700 people in hundreds of factories in over 40 countries around the world. In 2015, Nike Corporation made a profit of $785 million. This was an increase of 20% on the previous year. Its revenue was up 4% to $7,700,000,000. It was reported in 2016 that Nike Incorporation spent 804 million on advertising. This was a 10% increase on the previous year. So they spent so much on advertising, but they made profits. So the first question says, what are the benefits to Nike Corporation of operating so many factories around the world? So Nike has control of hundreds of factories in over 40 countries around the world. This means they can supply market close to their factory, which might reduce the cost of transportation. So Nike, the benefit to Nike operating different factories globally is that it will reduce transportational cost. How does it reduce transportational cost? So Nike does not need to Nike does not only need to supply goods closer to those countries that they are. It does not need to stay in America to supply the rest of the world. So because it has different factories around across the country, so that means those factories that are closer to the countries that they want to supply becomes easier for them to supply. So they can supply easily without spending so much on transportation. That's the advantage of multinational. Do you get the point or not? Nike is a multinational, so it has different factories across the world. So it does not need to have if it was just situated in one place, it will need to spend so much on transporting the football, the shoes, the boots, the jerseys cut across the world. But now they can produce this in different factories that are closer to their suppliers, to their customers, sorry. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So that means the cost of transportation would be reduced.
They have more branches.
They have more factories that they can produce. So which allows them to supply closer to their customers. Is it clear? That's number one. The question two. How important is a strong brand name to a multinational like Nike? For MSCs, one thing is this. MSCs tend to have well-known brand names, as this will help to raise their profile globally and boost sales. So the advantage of having a strong brand, like Nike, it has a strong brand. The advantage is that it allows Nike to have a huge reputation. And having a huge reputation means it can boost your sale. You'll be selling more and more revenue will come. So a strong brand means you have a high profile. So having a high profile means your sales will continue to increase. Do you get it? Question three. How does Nike remain a high-profile company? I wrote, Nike has continuously reinforced its brand name through investing heavily on advertisement, as Nike spent 804 million on advert in 2016, which was 10% higher than the previous year. So Nike has remained a high-profile business because it continued to reinforce its name through investing heavily on advertisement. So the name everywhere you go to, you see Nike advertisement. So you cannot, when you open and close your eye, you see Nike around, you watch it on television. So the name always rings the bell. Do you understand? So how is it possible? It is possible because Nike continued to invest heavily on advertisement. So the name will not go off your mind until you buy from them. Is it clear? So that takes us to the benefit of MSCs to a country or to an economy. So going to the benefits of multinationals to a country or to an economy. The first one, increase in income and employment. For multinationals, they create jobs, which means income in countries they set up in will increase because they create jobs. So when multinationals come when multinationals come to Libya, they will create jobs here, yes or no, and they will employ Libyans too. So that means the income in Libya would increase. Not only that, local businesses around will be able to supply them with maybe food, clothing, or whatever it is. So income in Libya would increase because multinationals are setting up. That means job creation and income. Is it clear? That's the first advantage to a country if multinationals set up in their country. The second one, increase in tax revenue. Multinationals will pay profits. They pay corporate tax. So corporate tax are taxes on the profit you make as a firm. So this tax they pay on profits made is a source of revenue for government. Do you understand? So government will receive taxes from multinationals, and that means they can finance public spending.
So they receive
multinationals setting up in Libya, they have to pay taxes to the government of Libya.
They receive the tax.
Yeah, government of Libya will receive taxes, will get taxes from multinationals, and they can use it for infrastructure, for road, for communication, for hospital, for education, for healthcare. So that is an advantage for the country. Do you understand the second advantage here to the economy? The third one, increase in exports. When multinationals set up here, whatever they produce counts for the country. It means the output of Libya. So whatever share produced from here, whatever mobile produced from here, whatever others produce from here, whatever company multinationals produce from here, it counts as output of Libya. Do you understand? So output produced by MNCs are recorded for the country. This helps to increase the foreign currency reserves. So that means when output increases, you get more foreign exchange. Foreign currencies will come into the country. That's what it means. In exchange of your own currency. So your foreign currency reserve will improve. Do you understand? So output will increase. The third one, transfer of technology. I wrote, they often provide foreign suppliers with technical help, training, and other information. When multinationals come into this country, they come with different equipment, latest technology, which will help the people here. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that's transfer of technology, and also with information. The next one, improvement in the quality of human capital. Multinationals, when they set up here, they employ Libyans, right? They won't just employ them, they will train them. Yes or no?
Yes.
So they train them, and training them means they will develop them with experiences. And what does that mean? It means the country will have a lot of human capital that attracts multinationals. Even the government of the country would want to spend on training and education. Because if government of Libya spends on training and education, when multinationals want to come here, they know they can find workers here. So it will attract them to come here. Do you understand? Enterprise development. For multinationals, when they set up in a country, when multinationals set up in this country, the locals, the people of Libya, might be motivated to have their own companies too.
Yeah.
Yes. Enterprise development. I wrote, MSCs provide the skills and motivation needed for enterprise as more people are encouraged to set up their own business. When multinationals come into this country, when multinationals set up here in Libya, a lot of people might want to do business. Oh, what can we say? Oh, there are a lot of Nigerians here. Let me open a business that Nigerians will buy from. Do you understand? So when multinationals set up in a country, they give you the motivation, the knowledge, the idea that you can be a business owner yourself too. Do you understand? So these are the benefits of having multinationals set up in the country. Is it clear? So we go to the activity 2 now. Have a case study, Mars. Mars, giant US confectionery multinational, is planning to open its first factory in India. Mars wants to produce some of its high-profile brands, such as Snickers and Galaxy, in a new factory in Pune, the construction of which will cost $160 million. The investment is expected to create 200 new jobs. However, a further 1,000 jobs are expected to be created indirectly. The factory will boost the global production capacity of Mars and help to meet the growing demand for chocolate in India. According to MV Natarajan, General Manager, Mars International India, the chocolate industry in India is growing at nearly 20% every year, and we see this as a huge opportunity to expand our chocolate portfolio in the country in the coming years. So how might A, the local Pune community, and B, the Indian government benefit from Mars investment in Pune? So for A, when MNC set up in an operation overseas, income in those countries rises, they create jobs. In this case, the new 160 million Mars factory is expected to create 200 jobs for the people. They said it already that it's going to create that they want to spend over $160 million to create jobs for, and it's going to create jobs like 200 and indirectly maybe over 1,000 employment indirectly. So that is an advantage for the community of Pune. So those that are living in Pune will have jobs available for them. Do you get it? And B, to the government of India. So for the government of India, the profit made by MNCs are taxed by the government. So therefore, the Indian government will receive corporate tax from profits made by Punes or any MNCs. This increases revenue for the Indian government. So the Indian government will be able to make revenue from the profit made by pure. Do you get it? So that's the advantage to the government, and that the other one is the advantage to the community. The community will have jobs. Government will make revenue. Is it clear? So now we go to the problems about multinationals setting up in the country. We go to the problems or drawbacks of multinationals to a country or to an economy. The first one, environmental damage. They are involved in the extraction of raw materials because they extract raw materials, and that is environmental damage. They destroy the earth.
Yes.
They destroy the land, which is not good for the countries. That's number one. Number two, exploitation of less developed countries. For multinationals, some multinationals may encourage developing countries to rely on producing primary products. This is risky as primary production is cheap. When multinationals set up here in this country, they want to encourage us to continue to extract our raw materials. They don't want us to convert it. You know, when you convert, that means you don't rely on the Western world anymore. You don't rely on in Europe. You don't rely on America. You are doing it yourself, but they would not. They want you to continue to extract primary production so that they will be the one to convert those raw materials into finished goods. And raw materials are cheap, unlike finished goods. You can't take raw materials, you can't consume them. You have to convert them. So multinationals don't allow, they don't encourage us to have manufacturing sector, the secondary sector. No, they want us to continue with primary sector, which is a problem. So MNCs may pay low wages. They pay low wages to workers, local workers. They pay low wages to local workers. And also in factories, the working conditions in factories might not be conducive for the factory workers. That's MNCs for you. The third one, they pay taxes, but the tax they pay it to the host nation. Do you understand? So the tax they pay to your country will be minimal, except if your country is where their head office is. If not, you get minimum tax from them. Do you get that? The next one, repatriation of profits. So whatever profit they make, they send it back to their country, to their headquarters, which is not good. That means transfer of money from your country. And the last one, lack of accountability. There's argument that there's argument that MNCs, due to how huge they are, they may evade laws, especially countries where the government is weak or corrupt. Multinationals are big. As a result of that, they might not pay taxes, or they might forget about taxes. They might pay taxes, but they might evade laws because they are big. They might bribe government officials, or government that in countries that the government are weak, they might exploit them. Do you understand? Yes. So now go to the multiple choice questions. The first one, which of the following is a benefit to a business of becoming multinational? To become a multinational, access to wider markets. D, access to wider markets. Question two, which of the following is a benefit to a nation that hosts a multinational? When a nation hosts a multinational, the benefit is that higher tax revenue. Higher tax revenue. A. Question three, which of the following is possible disadvantage to a nation that hosts a multinational? Disadvantage of a nation. No. The possible of exploitation of workers. I told you they pay low wages to their workers. Exploitation of workers. And the last one, which of the following is a means by which some multinationals may avoid accountability? Why would they not be accountable? Ignore the wishes of their shareholders, attempt to evade or manipulate the law, spend less on marketing, reduce their prices to exploit their power. How can they attempt to evade or manipulate the law? Yes. So that's about that. Then we go to the chapter review question. Chapter review question for McDonald's. I'm just going to go to the question immediately. So the first question says, suggest two features of a multinational. Use this case study as an example, though I read it already. So I wrote, McDonald's is a huge multinational. It operates in over 100 different countries and employed around 1.8 million people globally. So those are the two features. It operates in more than 100 countries, which is a feature. And it also employs over 1.8 million people globally. So those are the two features that makes McDonald's a multinational. Is it clear? Question two. McDonald's has become a multinational through effective marketing. What does this mean? I wrote, McDonald's has protected its brand name with patents and used every advertisement and innovative, based on the case study anyway, innovative marketing to attract customers. Most people would have seen McDonald's advert on television. So here they're talking about effective marketing. Effective marketing means the advertisement that McDonald's have done that has allowed McDonald's to make huge profit. And based on the case study, McDonald's spent a lot of money on advertisement in television. So a lot of people has watched McDonald's adverts on TV. And even it has a lot of competitors like KFC, burgers, and the rest. But McDonald's is doing well because it's able to protect its image. Clear? Question 3. What are the benefits of McDonald's of operating as a multinational? I did question 3 before 4, but I'm going to read question 3. It said, what are the benefits to McDonald's of operating as a multinational? Give 2 benefits in your analysis. 1, accessibility to wider markets. That's the first benefit, accessibility to wider markets. Because McDonald's is operating globally, it means it has access to large numbers of customers, unlike those businesses that are concentrating in domestic markets. Do you understand? So that increases McDonald's shares in the market. And 2, exploiting economies of scale. McDonald's has a huge operation base, which means it will be able to enjoy economies of scale. It will be able to enjoy, it will have cost reduction. Its average cost of production will fall because it's operating on a larger scale. So the 2 advantages of McDonald's being a multinational is that 1, it has access to a wider market. 2, it exploits economies of scale. That means its cost of production would fall. Is it clear? And question 4. Assess the benefits of a country or an economy when McDonald's locate outlets in that country. So we're talking about the benefit a country will get when a multinational comes into the country. The first one, increase in income and employment. We talked about it before. So if McDonald's set up in the country, it will employ the locals, yes or no? And that increases employment opportunity and increases their income. As their income increases, their lifestyle, their living standard will improve. And as a result of that, their demand will increase, making local businesses to also sell. So income for the local businesses will also increase. Is it clear? The second one, McDonald's will pay taxes from people, from profits made, from profits. They will pay taxes to the government of the country they have, which increases revenue for the government. Is it clear? So that's all about chapter 10. It's chapter 10, right? Multinationals, yes.